What's good, Brodies? In today's tutorial, I'm going to be doing a revision on the old button activated door tutorial. Basically, all I'm going to be doing is going a bit more in depth with it so you have a better understanding of it and that you should be able to do it just by scratch on your own at one point. So let's just get straight to it. Basically, the gist behind wiring is that there's always one object, and that's the object that you're trying to move inside the wire. And you'll always find a minimum of 2 blocks. And now you'll notice that if you look at the left side of the screen where the texture tool is, for my normal object, there's no texture. But inside of these wiring blocks, there seems to be a transparency of -500, which is shared in both, and a first repeat of 1 and 2. Basically, the gist of that is it helps the wire move from point A to point B, or in this case, wire 1 to wire 2. No wire will function unless you have those 2 blocks. As well as this, you'll notice there's some red brick sharing the same group of wiring, as you can see here. But instead it has a first repeat of 3. Why is that? Basically, when you see a colored wire, it means that it's color coded to another brick. So in my example, my button has a red color block and my door has a red color block. Now, you may have already noticed a difference, but the button's wire is labeled 3 and the door's wire is labeled 4. Basically, 3 refers to sending a signal out. Meanwhile, 4 refers to getting a signal. And what that means is every time this wire moves, it'll send out a signal of the color red to anything else that matches the color red. So this door matches the color red, right? So if I go up to this and interact with it, it'll open. But if I interact with it again, it'll close. This is because it has a matching color with the door. So if this wire moves, it'll send a color red to every other wire that's also red, which means also in this situation that if I duplicate this door and wire connection, I use this, you'll notice that both doors will now open because they're both matching the same color as the button. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this mechanism step by step to explain what I've done. So let's go. First and always, you're going to want a part. So just press J or click the new part tool. Boom. Right, that's your block. I like to scale it down to 1x1 size, but that's just comfort. Now this is going to be your actual button part. So you're going to want to like just put it here or something. I don't know. Just make sure it doesn't have any textures in or anything. Now press Shift C to clone a part, and you're just going to bring it to the side. Now what you're going to do is you're going to press G and you're going to go to texture side front. You're going to press add texture, transparency -500 or 500, it's preference. Set this to 1, and this second repeat thing will control the speed of the wire. So I'm going to make this 0.3 just because it's fast enough for a button. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it push back just a little bit, so like that is good. And then set the texture to this to 2 because it's the second wire. So point A to point B, and that's how this wire is going to move. You don't have to do this at the moment, but I'm going to group it and just WC to show you this. You see, it's going to move back and forth at a decent speed. There's nothing like, obviously it's not going to do anything special yet because there's nothing special for it to do yet. And that's exactly why we're going to add the color now, which is going to be over here. Now the color can be anything, but just make sure it's color coded to the specific door that you want. So make it red. You're going to want to set the repeat to 3, and then you can either bring out a part right now and save that for the door, or you can just group this right now. If I WC here and press E, I'll now go, it'll just do the same thing I did with this extra, but it's not going to do much at the moment because we don't have a door yet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually quickly select all these parts. You can hold shift and click on every part, personally, what I like to do is I like to press N and make these wires invisible, and then press K and make them non-collision, so you can never walk into them. Make sure it's grouped, by the way. Now you're gonna make a new part for your door. This can be your actual door. If you already have a door, you can use that, but I'm just gonna use this as my door. Simply all you're gonna do is press Shift T, bring this over as per usual, bring it down, press G, texture side front, -500, set that to 1, and for door speeds I like to do 1.2, but it kind of depends on the door. Then it depends on where you want the door to move. So if you want it to move to the left, you're gonna have to bring it to the left. If you want the door to move to the right, you're gonna have to move to the right. But personally, I like bringing it up. So simply drag it up, set this part to repeat. And over here, just clone this part, bring this over, and set that to the color red, and set that to 4 so we can receive the signal from the button that we made previously. Now, if we just group this together and WC, you'll notice that we have 2 connections, and the button, it'll open, but it's really bland not having any sound. And that's exactly what we're going to get some IDs, and I'll tell you how to put them in. Now, to get sounds, I'm going to put a link in the description and on screen right now to gain access to the place. All you want to do is just go into the audio section and type in what about audio you want. So for example, I'll type door open, and it'll prompt me with a bunch of audios for door opening. And we have 2 different sounds, but I'm a bit lazy, so I'll just put my IDs in the description as well. So I'm just going to use one ID for both. So that's my first one. And here, okay, so what you want to do is when you actually go to the button, you're gonna see it's invisible. So you're gonna again just shift click for both of the parts, and then texture front, and then image ID, paste that in there. And now you should have your 2 IDs for the doors and the button. If I just press this, perfect. And if I press that again, it works. Thank you for following along with the tutorial. I know it's been a while since I posted. I just got some random motivation for it. If you liked it, please give a like. I don't know. Just hope it helped, and have fun making town builds and wires. See you guys later.